So this is the new 2018 Mac Mini. The previous generation was last updated in 2014, so it's been 4 years now, but we finally got one. It's been updated to 8th generation Intel CPUs. I mean, it's a little bit late into the cycle. We're starting to now get 9th generation CPUs, but it's still better than nothing, so here's my review of the new Space Gray Mac Mini. So build quality and design remains mostly unchanged, except for the switch from silver to space gray. The entire body is made out of a solid block of aluminum, it's built really well, and on the bottom you'll find a plastic hatch, which is where you'll open up the Mac Mini. I actually really like this look. It's pretty small, it's got a dark gray finish, it just looks really nice, and it's built really well. In case you're new to the Mac Mini, this is actually all you get. It's just a computer, there aren't any accessories included, there's no keyboard, no mouse, no display. It's one of the reasons why it's so cheap, so you need to connect your own display, keyboard, and mouse. There is Bluetooth if that's what you use, but yeah, you gotta use your own stuff. Around back is the power port, gigabit Ethernet, 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, an HDMI port, 2 USB-As, and a headphone jack, funnily enough. I mean, it's actually pretty good, right? They didn't kill off the headphone jack or the HDMI port, although I do wish there were 2 extra USB-As in the front for easy access, but you gotta keep that clean design, right? So the new specs are really what's different with this Mac Mini, and it's pretty skimpy at the base model, but you do have the option to upgrade it to a actually pretty beefy machine. It'll cost you, and it won't be cheap, and I certainly don't recommend it, but if you got a deep pocket and you want specs in a small form factor, here's what a maxed out Mac Mini looks like. It's got a 6-core Intel Core i7-8700, 64 gigs of RAM, a 2TB NVMe SSD, and an upgraded 10GB Ethernet port. It's $2,800 in total. That is ridiculous, but you have that option if you want it. Funny enough, there's actually a speaker in the Mac Mini. It sounds pretty bad, and it shoots from the rear of the computer. I mean, you're better off just using your own earbuds or headphones. I wouldn't recommend those. The fans are silent on idle, but they are audible when you max it out. They're not like overly loud or anything, but it does get decently loud. The thermals on this thing are actually really good. So the model I'm using here is just the base model with the quad-core i3 processor, but when I maxed out the fans and ran Prime 95 with maximum heat, it stayed just under 90 degrees Celsius and maintained the full 3.6 GHz turbo clocks the entire time. With the stock fan curve, it still kept the full turbo clocks, the fans were much quieter, and the CPU was sitting around 95 degrees Celsius. If you're thinking of getting the 6-core CPUs, this should handle it perfectly fine. 80 degrees under a synthetic test is really good. Apple did a solid job here with the thermals. So that's the Mac Mini, and the short of it is this. I think it's a cool machine, I really like it, but it's way too overpriced right now. It's small, I like that space gray finish, it's quiet with really good thermals, and you can deck it out to be a pretty solid machine. But that price though, like I get you always pay more for Apple, but $800 for a Core i3, 8 gigs of RAM, and a 128GB SSD, there's no way I can openly recommend it to everyone. If this was $500, maybe, but not for $800. If you have the cash to spend or you're thinking of getting one as a gift, I mean, at least get 256 gigs of storage, then yeah, it's a great machine and I think you're going to like it. So that's the end of my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it and I hope you found it helpful, and I will see you guys in my next video.